On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
I want her to do what she would like to do. I don't see what the pushback is. I was asked a question.
Okay. Well, you said you don't want your child working in a corporation, and that's when I asked what's wrong with a corporation.
I work at a corporation. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I said the preference would be for her to not have to. What's up? Like I don't get what the confusion.
Hey baby, you need to get some of that water. Goddamn, go get that goddamn.
I don't know what's in that water, but you did say that.
Hey, Q,
look, goddamn, get some creek water, baby. Come on, I'll drink with you.
It seems y'all looking for contradictions, looking to poke holes in my stuff tonight, huh?
No, you definitely said that, but
I said, well,
it ain't nothing to search.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
I mean, not kind of, but I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Okay, Courtney.
You know what I'm saying? RVPs, regional vice presidents, or district managers, so on and so forth, right? Things are not getting accomplished. So there's only so much room at the top. Here's the bottom line, though. Regardless of the position of the man, that woman that we talking about, she's still pining over the dude that she left at the end of the day.
Do y'all really believe that she really believed that, bro?
Here we go. Let's go, Anton. So you don't.
I mean,
just because they say what you say don't mean nothing. How you really feel is displayed in your actions. Your actions is 90% of communication. All of that, oh, he was my one true love, is BS. It's all BS because her action says something completely different. So I don't listen to what people say. I want to see exactly what the results are going to be. A, that's A, right? B, JR is absolutely right. And all of the pushback that comes along with what he was saying with regard to leveling up is the reason why you see so many people that's going to fall eventually below the threshold for being able to survive and thrive in society. Do we need blue collar workers? Yes. Do you, the people that are listening to this, have to be in that category? Absolutely not. And the mindset that comes along with being successful is largely based off of what people like JR think. They are not ready to just settle. They're not ready to just lean on that, right? And I'm going to just tell you, in the years to come, I read a report today that said that the average income that you need in order to be able to purchase a home is over $76,000 now based off of inflation and how home prices are going. Meaning you are going to be priced out. You can sit here, you can whine about it, you can talk about it, we can debate about it, we can go back and forth. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there is not going to be a middle class. There's going to be a rich and there's going to be a poor. And you are going to have to make the determination or you're going to have to evaluate which side of the fence you want to be on. And it does not matter how we feel. I'm not going to be the determining factor. You're not going to be the determining factor. You can figure out how you want to move, and whatever your mindset is going to be is what your actions are that's going to follow. You can sit here and you can want to do it for the pension, but I'm trying to tell you that if you have that mindset, you are going to be dependent on the federal government in order to make sure that they take care of you, hoping that they continue to fund Social Security that's not even fully funded today, hoping that they continue to put into it. The national debt is going to continue to go up. The value of the dollar is going to continue to go down. And you can't even buy chicken wings for the same price that you could yesteryear without paying double. I'm telling you, you're going to have a different mindset when it comes to resources and being successful, because how your grandfather did it and how your great-grandfather did it, them days is gone. You can't even have a household where you can't depend on a woman's income without having to need it in order to survive. You have to have a two income household to survive today, and you sitting here talking about it's okay to strive to be regular. I'm telling you.
No, but I
nobody said to be right.
I don't think anyone.
I understand what y'all saying, and that we're gonna need some Starbucks workers, right? We're gonna need some Amazon delivery drivers.
That's not even
all of these people. I'm not saying that we not. I'm saying that you don't have to be the one to live that life And there's always going to be a working class. I'm not debating that. I'm saying that we need to strive for better. If you want to be on the other side of that fence, is because it's not going to be a middle class no more.
Okay, but this is the
hold on. We gotta talk one at a time so they can hear us. Okay, so we're gonna go.
The whole point though, Anton, is that
Oh my God.
it's only so many people that can be in the top 10%. It's only so many people that can be in the top 20%.
Agreed.
You can have all the ambitions in the fucking world, but numbers is numbers. You can't change that. I mean, and that's what it go down to. It's like, look, check this out. You could have a high school that's full of smart people, but it's only one valedictorian. It's only one salutatorian. So it's certain positions. It's positions for everything in life, and it's slots for that. So you can't just make slots. It's just I'm
not disputing anything that you're saying. I'm saying that you can beat that valedictorian, not necessarily in the grades, but the work ethic. And there is a difference between, listen, when I go to these cities, and you know that I go to different cities every single month. I go twice a month. And when I walk around, you know what I see? I see that the people that actually do those jobs, they got to drive in, they got to bus in, they got to ride their scooters, they got to ride their bicycles in order to work the jobs for the people that actually live in these cities, that live, work, and thrive here. Real talk. You can't get a place here in Miami, in Brickell, in Midtown, in downtown Miami, on Miami Beach for anything less than $4,000 a month and live inner city. You can't live here.
It's not for everybody. But see what you're saying, I'm with it. But it's not for everybody. If you got to realize, no matter what companies you got,
I agree.
They just not gonna expand their positions because the niggas got ambition.
I agree. But all I'm saying is there's a select group of people. You don't have to. It's some people that don't get to the other side just because they don't give enough effort. Honestly, it's some people that's talented as hell. It's some people that really, really got every tool that they need in their toolbox, but they settle for being average because they don't put in the effort, bro. It's a lot of people like that. And I'm saying that it's some people that don't have to be on that side of the fence. They actually have it. They got everything that they need. They got the support, they got the network, they got the people, they got the information, and they just don't apply it. And so I'm not okay with allowing people to be average. You try to be successful and you wind up just becoming average. I'm cool with that. But the thing that I don't like is people not putting in the effort, and that's the thing that JR was talking about.
All right, Courtney, go ahead.
But I want to say this, in that it's not for everybody. We put so big emphasis of you get to the bag, get to the bag, get to the bag. There's people that want to be content. There's people that is happy that I appreciate a man with a 9-to-5 that come and I know when he's coming home and I can toot that thing up for him at 5 o'clock. Like, I like being on a schedule. I like contentment. That's peaceful to me. Me knowing where you are, you knowing where I am, that's peace to me. Everybody ain't like that. Every woman, we talk about hypergamy, every woman ain't hypergamous. And in order to find a woman that's not hypergamous, you got to find a woman that's content. That's content with being at home and doing the mundane things, and that makes her happy. She's still joyful with going to work and coming home and just cooking and just being regular.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any problem with just being a regular person.
Hold on, I want to.
I mean, and
muted Anton.
Who said that it was a problem with being a regular person?
Well, we're talking.
Hold on.
You in essence kind of said that.
I said that it's important for you to give the effort.
Hold on. I want to say this. I want to say this real quick, and I'm gonna get right back to you, Courtney. I think the same way that you guys.
What is it?
Hold on. Like the same way that you guys say that we need people on the ground, it's the same way we need people to preach this. So we need people to preach this message to motivate people. If we didn't have anybody motivate nobody, then guess what? People would just be doing the same shit. So we need people to say, no, this is not it. You don't have to settle for this. You know, and again, that threshold, like I'd rather hear people telling me about it to trying to motivate me than for people to just be sitting there, no, this is it. This is it, dog. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna retire. We're gonna get our 401k. We're gonna retire. We're gonna have a retirement, a pension, and that's gonna be it. No, we need people preaching this message, because otherwise we'll all be the same. So I don't see anything wrong with thinking from both ways. I understand logic point, like we need people on the ground, but we also need people preaching this. Otherwise, it's like a season, right? So you got people that's doing this, but we also want them to know, yeah, you could do this, but you can do more as well. You don't have to settle for this. The sky's the limit. But you may not know no better. But guess what? I'm here to tell you, because I've lived it, I've done it. There's more that you can do. Now I'm gonna give you the information. You can either take it or you can leave it. But the information is there. So we need to encourage people to preach this. I get this. That's all you may need, and it's cool. But based off my personal experience, a woman wants options. It may come on. I mean, on the front end, it may be okay, but on the back end, it may not.
What do you mean?
I think that's settling, though.
What is that?
9 to 5 is settling.
Hold on. You know the thing that I hear on this panel on a regular basis? Y'all want seats at the table. We need more people in leadership. We need more people to own these companies. We need more people in decision makers at the top. We need more people that get into these positions in order to be able to kick the doors down in order to get other people in that look like y'all. Now, I'm not of that ilk in that I align myself with people that look like this. But this is the thing that y'all advocate for and y'all ask for every single day. How you think they're going to get there? You think that somebody just going to give them something? You think it's going to be a diversity and inclusion committee that's just going to point them to these boards? No, you're going to need some people that bust down doors, that don't sleep, that grind, that get to these positions, that it don't happen just because you want it to. If this is what you want, there's going to have to be an army of people that take over as a result of their actions. And they cannot settle and sit here and play games. They're going to have to spend every minute, every waking moment grinding, hustling, and getting there.
But
nobody,
everybody doesn't have that grind. Hold on. Everyone doesn't have that grind, and it's okay. It's okay to want to grow at the post office or not. Post office make good money. They got good benefits. I've said before, we so focused on the bag, but you in debt. Get out of debt. Don't owe. I've said that before. We're going to focus on good benefits. Living below your means. These conversations are never had, and we're normal people. I'm not going to be, I probably won't ever be a millionaire. And that's fine with me. I don't require a lot of money. I require to be debt free and to have contentment in my home.
But that's not enough, Courtney.
It's enough for me.
Because if you sit here and I see y'all spill these statistics on a regular basis, and you say, well, the average white family has a net worth of X, and the average black family has a net worth of this.
Hold on, bro.
It's not enough to just be debt free when you start talking about resources and comparing yourself to other groups.
I don't compare myself to anyone but myself and what I know is what's happy for me and my contentment. I don't compare myself to nobody. What I know and how I take care of myself is debt free. So it allows what the money that I get, I'm able to save, I'm able to invest. And I don't have to work hours upon hours to do it. I work a regular 9 to 5 like everybody else. However, I live below my means. So I'm able and I'm free to do a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people that make maybe double the amount that I can probably don't, because they so worried about what the Joneses got. And I want to make sure everybody know I got money. So I'm wearing this and I'm wearing that. I've told people, I said it before, I'm at the Dollar General. I shop at Target and Marshalls, and I'm fine with that. I don't need all that shit. And I don't need my man breaking his back trying to get what the Joneses got. I want a normal family and a normal household.
Have you always?
I want him to come home to me every night.
I'm just curious, and I'm not insinuating anything, but I would like to know: have you always thought like that? I know you said you're 39 now. At 28, were you thinking like that? Just curious.
No.
Not insinuating.
No, and this is the reason why, and this is why we need to start talking and telling women this. Because before I used to date the man, the athlete, ain't got no time for me out there with women, and I was lonely and sad.
Yeah. And this would
And I
have
didn't have shit to show for it. And I didn't have shit to show for it. Because he's out and I'm thinking that's sexy and that's hypergamy and yeah. And in real life, what we need to be focused on is finding contentment and joy in our lives. And we can have that without always chasing money. Like, yeah. I get it. You don't want to be broke, but it's a balance.
Let me break. I'm gonna break it down. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna break it down this way. This is what happens. If you can compare it to sports, all over the United States, it's a whole bunch of star athletes in middle school because there's more middle schools. You go up to high school, it's less star athletes, but it's still a lot. You get to college, it's a lot of colleges. It's less than it was in high school, but it's still a lot. Now, when you funnel yourself through the league, it's just that's life. Everybody's not gonna get the bag. And I know you can have the motivation. You could have the best motivation in high school, but guess what? It wasn't for you. You're gonna get washed out in college. And as you go up, that's life. But if we have all our guys and our men think about, you know what? But I'm not saying don't think about it, don't strive for it. You should. But life is going to happen.
Hey, Mr. Logic, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of whole schools where the overwhelming majority of them are overly successful in certain communities? There are schools that's dedicated to where you can't even get in unless you're literally on a path or a trajectory to be successful. There is whole communities that are built to take over and be successful.
Yes.
Why are we limiting and preaching a message of limitations and contentment? Because all contentment means is to settle. Why are we limiting and painting this picture to where you can't be super duper successful, or just because I got it and he got it and he got it, that they can't have it?
But see, Anton, I think you trying to put yourself in a situation and then you're not being realistic.
Ain't even talking about me.
No, I'm saying your argument, not you personally. I'm saying your argument. It's not realistic. Like I said,
how is it not real? There is whole schools that have the whole school. It is very rare for a student in that school to not be overly successful.
And guess what, Anton? How many is not?
What do you mean?
How many schools?
I'm saying it's schools that do that, right? It's schools that do that. Now, but how many schools don't do that?
But see, why are we trying to compare ourselves to the schools that don't do it instead of grooming and grouping ourselves as a community of people that are amongst the ones that are doing it? Because there's going to be enough people out there that fall off, but it don't have to be us. There's already going to be a community of people that do it. Why we got to be the ones that subject ourselves to it?
Honestly,
the answer to that is you're starting from a point, right now what you at is you at the 50-yard line when we're not even at the 50-yard line yet. You need to start realistic. I understand what you're saying, and guess what? Is that realistic at the state we at? We can't even fucking clean up our own streets.
No, exactly.
We can't. I'm just saying, we can't even goddamn fucking call the police on them without being a bitch ass nigga. So you want these things, and I'm not saying, hey, you want something like the Jewish community got, right? But you got to ask yourself, what other things do the Jewish community got to even put them in that position?
Yeah, we as a people ain't there yet.
Hold on, I want to get to.
Well, why do y'all think? Oh.
Go ahead, let me get to Lady T, and then I get to Q.
So this thought process is exactly why the wealth gap is so huge. There are people that are just satisfied with following a follower, being normal, quote unquote normal, no disrespect to anyone, but just having minimal, being complacent, just being comfortable, just getting by. And then there are people that are actually willing to challenge themselves. And that's honestly what we should be telling our people to do. Like, challenge yourself, don't settle, stay ambitious. Like, don't just, there's nothing wrong with working your 9 to 5, but there's no way for us to break any kind of generational curses or, any of that, like, by just doing the easy stuff. Like, so I mean, it's just interesting to watch it, but it's literally, we're in the stage of follow the follower, and that's why everyone's following a roadmap that hasn't proved itself to make any changes in anyone's life, and not many people anyway. That's again the reason why the wealth gap is so huge. But
Can I ask y'all a question really quickly?
Hold on.
No. I want to ask a question real quick.
Hold on, Anton. I was gonna go down.
I'm gonna pose a question.
He can ask the question
I'm
first.
gonna ask a question. Is this what y'all would teach y'all children?
Hell no.
Wait, hold on. What I teach, am I teaching my daughter to be content and happy and joyful and not to chase money and not be a gold digger? And hypergamy is not necessarily what we need to strive for, but a good man with good integrity and a good job with benefits and to live below your means. Am I teaching her that? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm teaching. I want her to get a good man.
Mm-hmm.
And to look at him at a good job that has a consistent job that's stable. I want her to have stability.
No. Hold on, Courtney.
Yeah.
If you had a son, would you tell him the same?
You beautiful. Come on, goddamn.
I don't think that was Anton's question.
When I speak to men. I'm not expecting women to do the same thing as men. As a matter of fact, I say all the time, women aren't built like men. If you had a son, would you teach your son this?
I think, yeah, that's the question.
What I just said?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Then that's cool.
But what makes y'all think having a 9 to 5 is regular complacent? There are men that work 9 to 5 that can clear over 6 figures, 300K. So I'm so confused here.
There's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. And when I think when if you don't mind, I think when JR, if you don't mind me saying it, JR, I think what you were getting at was, don't let that just be it. Let it be a means to an end, right? When he's saying fuck a 9 to 5, he's not saying don't go and get one. He's like, yeah, go get one, but strive for more. So nobody's saying 9 to 5s ain't shit, right? Because you can convert this military shit that we was doing or whatever that me and Logic were doing. That's more or less 9 to 5. It's more 9 to 5. It's 24/7 type shit, but it's more along the same lines, right? It is a means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's
striving for fucking more.
But let's be honest, Quest. As I said, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Sometimes it's very unstable. Let's just be honest.
Agree.
Right? So, as I said, 9 to 5s are not complacent, which some of y'all have said, and not regular, right? There's a whole, people think that entrepreneurship is easy. If that was the case, everybody would be entrepreneurs, but it's not. It's not made for everybody. Let's just be honest.
Right. So that's why so that's why I clarified that even if you have a 9 to 5, just having that growth mindset. Just don't be complacent in life, period. Just always be willing to grow when it comes to your career.
You're right, JR, but a 9 to 5 person can find another job within that business that they do that makes more money or a higher position. That's usually what happens, right? When you have a 9 to 5.
It's a lot of people that you preach that to. And again, it's me speaking from the ground where you try to give them some advice as far as growth, and they just go one ear out the other because they're comfortable.
They're not gonna get it, JR. You with me?
I don't think that's the majority.
No, I would not teach my son this shit.
I don't think that's the majority.
Like, in my head, I'm hoping that my son never even sees a fucking W-2, and my daughter. I hope they never see W-2s whatsoever. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be teaching my son. I'm gonna be teaching my son to go out there and get it, in order to be successful in this society that has been established, that we all live in, right? We didn't necessarily create it, but we live in the motherfucker, right? Like, in order to be successful, in order to carry your legacy, the legacy on, your family on, like, you need to go out there and grind your fucking ass off. And I'm positioning him to where he and my daughter, where they don't have to start at a 9 to 5, right? They don't have to start there.
So you're creating generational wealth. Is that what you're saying?
Where are they gonna? You have money for them, so they don't have to have a job.
She asked me a question. Let me answer it. Yes, I'm creating generational wealth.
So that's totally different, sir. Yeah, so that's totally different because you're already creating something for them. We're talking about people that don't have that foundation already made for them.
I was answering Anton's question though. He asked, "Would I teach my son that?" The answer is no.
I mean, you got to realize this. We want the best for our kids. I don't think this is a question that where we don't want the best for our kids. Everybody want the best for their kids. Everybody want their kids to strive to do the best. Everybody should give them kids every possible resources they need to succeed. But I'm telling you, the black community is more like goddamn fucking, they just like that's why we got, in Atlanta, you got 1 million barbershops. It's 1 million fucking barbershops. You literally got, in West End, you got fucking 12 barbershops on one block. And they wonder why their business is not jumping. Because now everybody in the black community, let's be honest, they want to be what? Entrepreneurs and YouTubers. That's why, if you remember, I told you that, them stats I pulled, Courtney? The stats I pulled from okay, well, I can't say that. But the stats I pulled show something like the market for microphones and soundboards and shit now in the black community, it's gone crazy. Every nigga got a mic in it, a Shure mic in their house. Every nigga got a fucking, cause that's how black people roll. So I'm with you. I'm not telling the person who want to be a YouTube superstar, don't do it. But understand this market is getting saturated. Just like it was when niggas cut hair, chicks braiding hair, all this shit. We don't fucking think outside the box. We don't say, hey, let me do this, let me do this. Right now, everybody want to be a millionaire because of guess what? They saw how easy it is for these YouTubers to become millionaires. So now that's when you got this whole mindset, and it's not realistic. Everybody's gonna get 1 million subscribers. So yes, shoot for it, do it, but you need to know when to jump the fucking ship and kind of shift directions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, to answer Anton's question, I'm teaching my daughter to be purpose-driven and to find a problem to solve. That is the best way to be successful as an entrepreneur. No, I'm not preparing her to work at anyone's corporation. You know what I mean? If it happens, so be it. But it won't be because she has to. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no.
No, he wanted to know, what were you teaching your son?
Like, yeah, that's different.
Well, I'm teaching my son to be ambitious. I'm teaching my son the same thing. He has to be purpose-driven and to be prepared to solve a problem as well. Like that's an enterprising young man. He has to be driven to solve a problem, driven toward his purpose. That's how everything's going to be added on to him. So
why do you guys, and you just said it, T, I'm not teaching my child to work at a corporation when doctors work for corporations, when lawyers work for companies and law firms, when executives work for corporations. I work for a corporation and I do well.
I do too.
So why would you teach your son not to work for a corporation when the majority of people that start businesses are going to fail?
I'm not going to teach my child to prepare to fail.
What's wrong with working for a corporation?
I never said nothing was wrong with it. I work for one and I'm happy working for one. But if I could help it, I would like for my child to not have to work for one.
What do you want your child to do?
I want her to do what she would like to do, but preferably something in the world that's going to, like I said, solve a problem and walk into her purpose. What's the confusion?
But you don't want, that's a contradiction right there. I want my child to be perfect, but I don't want her to work in a corporation. Which she can do that working in a corporation.
I want her to be what? What was that? What was the contradiction you're looking for?
Okay, you contradicted yourself when you said I want my child to be a problem solver, but I don't want her to work at a corporation, which in essence she can. I want her to be purpose driven, but what if her purpose is being a teacher?
Okay, so then I want her to do what she would like to do. I don't see what the pushback is. I was asked a question.
Okay, well, you said you don't want your child working in a corporation, and that's when I asked what's wrong with a corporation.
I work at a corporation. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I said the preference would be for her to not have to. What's up? Like I don't get what the confusion.
Hey, baby, you need to get some of that water. Goddamn, go get that goddamn.
What's in that water? But you did say that.
Hey, Q,
look, goddamn, get some creek water, baby. Come on, I'll drink with you.
It seems y'all looking for contradictions, looking to poke holes in my stuff tonight, huh?
No, you definitely said that, but
I said, well,
it ain't nothing to search.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Courtney.
I mean, not, but I'm just saying.
Oh my God,
Okay, Courtney.